We are back here for the River States Conference Men's Golf Media Day. This is the Midway Men's Golf Edition, as you can tell by the big eagle head in the background and the Midway on the front of the hoodies there. So happy to be here on the River States Conference website. We'll kind of go from left to right. On the far left, we have Mason Mastro. You're going to have to help me with the last name. I didn't do this before the video. Shame on me. Mason Mastropalo? Paulo?
You got it, Mastropalo. Yes.
Oh, man. I get lucky every once in a while. Not very often. He's a junior from Moores Hill, Indiana. In the middle, we have head coach Otis Smith. Coach, how we doing?
I'm doing just fine. Good to see you, though.
Mason, you doing good?
Yeah.
Good. And then on the far right, we have Cameron Turner, a junior from Jackson, Kentucky. Cameron, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Coach, you've started both programs here, and you're the first head coach in program history of both of those. The start of the program of the men's golf program was a little bit different than it was for the women. What was that process like?
Well, first of all, I guess the word shock comes to mind. I guess when we first found out that we were going to be starting the men's program, it was kind of said it would be a couple years down the road, but some things occurred, and we ended up kind of having to jump right in and get started a little bit earlier than we wanted to. But the process has been great. We had a lot of transfers come in that first year, and a few other freshmen that I was able to bring in outside of that. That first program on the men's side I thought was fantastic. We had a lot of chemistry there because, like I said, a lot of them came from the same school that transferred in, so there was a lot of chemistry there, and everybody got along, and we kind of got off to a good start. Didn't finish how we wanted to finish, but we were always kind of right there with that first class of kids, just kind of pecking at being a champion, but could just never get over the hump. So, from that day to today, we're talking about. We're going to talk about coming off of 2 conference championships and 2 trips to the national tournament. I mean, from where we started to where we are now, again, just couldn't be happier and just very blessed to be a part of this program.
Yeah, and they've helped pave the road for this program to have the success that it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those kids were, that situation was kind of a tough situation for them, but they never faltered. They came in and they always were just 100% on board with getting better and using that as motivation for them to do good at this conference, so that's kind of how everything worked out, and they did a very good job. Like I said, I'm very proud of those kids. I talk to a lot of them often. I was just talking to Brandon a couple of days ago, as a matter of fact. So, Cole is a former member. He actually works here at Midway now, so we got a lot of those kids are still a part of Midway and a part of the program, and I talk to them all the time. They come back for our fundraiser scramble every year. A lot of them do. So, just very happy how they paved the road and how they got things started for us here.
Yeah, and Mason, you came here in 2020 was your first year. What was one of those things that attracted you here to want to come to Midway and play golf here?
Otis and I met at a tournament, and he stopped to talk to me and my family after the tournament, and just hearing the kind of places that this program was headed, I really wanted to be a part of that team and that family, and he made it seem like it was going to be my home away from home, which it certainly is. So that's one of the bigger reasons why.
Good. That's something we love to hear. Cameron, the program was still relatively young, and hadn't quite reached that pinnacle of success that it has now. What's that been like for you, being a part of the program here at Midway?
Yeah, so coming in 2019, I was a freshman. Trey Blevins was a senior, and we got 3 transfers that year, which was Bill Mullen, Logan Kahn, and Elliott Smith. 2019 was my freshman year, first semester. It's challenging to just step right in and having the expectations of just you're going to be like the number one. So it took me a little bit to get going. And then the second semester came around, and I made both of those tournaments, and then COVID hit. So then school completely shut down. That next year, we only lose 1 player, which was Trey. So we got back 3 of the first 5, and then I made in the first 5 in the 5. And then I guess that year we got our first win at Midway, and I was a part of that. So that was a great feeling. And then it just kept on rolling. The first semester we won 1 or 2 tournaments maybe, and then we won a couple more in the spring, and then we won our first conference championship, which was a great feeling. And once you win something like that, it's contagious. You just want to keep on winning. And then to do it again the following year, as last year, and we won, I don't know how many tournaments last year.
And 4 or 5 of them.
Five,
Yeah,
maybe.
something like
And
that.
to make the cut at Nationals for both years when you're expected. We weren't expecting it. Everybody else was like, y'all won't make the cut. And so to prove those teams wrong, and especially the people that vote for the top 25 teams, to finish inside the top 17 both years is very contagious.
Yeah, absolutely. And Coach Cameron already kind of hit on it, but those three, and Cameron being one of those, and the guys that are still on the team and were part of that team, the three main ones being Will, Logan, and Elliott, they kind of really helped kickstart the program and into high gear.
Yeah, I mean, getting those guys to transfer in all in 1 year, I mean, it's hard to even speak on how lucky coach is when he gets three players of that caliber to come in 1 year. It was again, it's a blessing. That's the only way I can kind of look at it. I take a lot of pride in knowing that kids want to be a part of the Midway program. So obviously it's something here that they see, that they like, that they feel like they can be a part of, a family, a close-knit, group and learn and get better. That's kind of what I look at when kids, decide to come here. So I'm thankful for all these guys, I think, but those three, since we're talking about those three in particular, I mean, those three really kind of jump started. We were already kind of at the precipice, but, when those three came in, we just really kind of got over the hump and were able to, add those three with the kids that we already had here, and it just, really turned out well.
Yeah, and that first year you win the first conference championship you won, you left no doubt. There was no doubt that year you won. You won by 34 shots, which is unheard of.
We took a lot of pride, like Cam says. I think we're a humble team. For the most part, I think we go under the radar quite a bit. But quite honestly, like you said, we use it as kind of a chip on our shoulder. Midway is not one of the perennial powerhouse golf programs in the past. So with us being only a 5-year program, I think when we won the first one, to get to where we were, and now we're talked about and we're mentioned in the top caliber programs. That's a chip on our shoulder that we take pride in, trying to make sure that we are doing the things we need to do at practice, working hard at tournaments to continue to be kind of held in that light, in that group. So we took pride in that, and the kids definitely bought into let's show people, we can show them better than we can tell them, and that's kind of where we are at this point. So we're defending champions in the conference, and we're looking to win again this year, and we're also looking to improve and do even better at nationals. That's kind of what we want to do. So our goals have changed a little bit, but we're really trying to just continue to improve and keep moving up the ladder.
Yeah, and Mason, what's it been like being a part of the team that has been having so much success here lately?
It's a lot of fun, like I said earlier, we're like one big family. Once one person wins, we congratulate. Like when Logan won a couple years ago for individual conference, that was a big thing. Will winning it last year was a huge thing as well. We all celebrate, But at the end of the day, we all get back to work, and like Otis said, the goals have changed. But like I said, being a part of that, it really is a lot of fun to be part of, because like I said, we're all just one family, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to piggyback on, what Mason said, as a family, we win and lose together. I mean, my thing is, when you have the caliber players that we have on this team, everybody, sometimes kids are going to be up, some kids are going to be down. But in qualifying and different things, I mean, our qualifying scores are so close, and the lineup changes. People ask me all the time, who's your number one player? Obviously, I can tell you who the low average is or whatever, but every tournament, the lineup is different. So that's something that, again, I think we take pride in as a program, that, people can step in and we don't miss a beat. We kind of stay at the same level, as far as our playing ability and scores as a team. So I'm very thankful to have, I got 11 guys on the team this year, and we're I feel comfortable with all 11 of those young men. So very happy, like I said, that we have that close-knit family, and we push each other. We congratulate each other. You know, we hold each other accountable. So we do a lot of things that make this program, that makes a lot of other programs good. We do those things as well.
Yeah, and Cameron, we always talk about the qualifying process for tournaments. No spot is ever really guaranteed. You've got to continue to perform tournament in, tournament out, practice in, practice out. What's that process? You feel that really gets the team ready for tournament?
Going back to my freshman year, coming in, I would say every freshman thinks that they're the best player on the team. They're going to be the best player. And that was a rude awakening for me. I thought I would come in here and just do what I was doing in high school. And it's totally different. Everybody says it's golf, but it's different. It's a whole different type of golf. And then when you're on the team with other players, especially seniors who are 22, 23 years old, and you're coming as an 18, 19-year-old, just the pressure of playing in those situations make you ready for tournaments. Like my freshman, sophomore year, I couldn't even line my golf ball up on the green, how nervous I was. And then just playing in them qualifiers, it helps you break that pressure, I would say. So, and then on our team, like he said, 1 through 5 is different every tournament. So you have someone that, could be 11-man one tournament, could be your 1-man next tournament. So like you have to play like it's an actual tournament out there in qualifiers.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, we kind of hit on those three and everything that you lost, but we've talked about numerous times. You've got a super young team. You've got 2 returners right here, but other than that, you've got a ton of freshmen up and down.
We're again, just like the women's team, we're pretty young actually. Mason and Cam are my 2 junior seniors. I know COVID thing, whatever, but they're my 2 leaders on the team right now. I have I think I got 4 sophomores and 5 freshmen. Is that what it is? I think it's something like that. So it's
fifth-year senior. Fifth-year senior.
Yeah, so I think we got 4 freshmen, 4 sophomores. The 2 seniors are the 5th-year seniors. So so we kind of got them all up and down, but for the most part, we're pretty young. So I'm really excited about that. That just means the future continues to be bright. Again, it also means that kids are finding out about our program, are learning about what Midway has to offer, what Midway is all about educationally, as far as in the community, as far as on the golf course. So I think that's just it's really just, it shines a light on Midway, it shines a light on how well the school is perceived right now in the golf program. So I'm very happy that the younger players are coming in, and I know you want to kind of talk about the skill and the things. We, like I said, we got a transfer in who's a sophomore, Jack Bedell, who's been really good for us. We got a couple of other freshmen, Ben Spencer, Gage Gregory. Both came in as freshmen, and they've got a lot of time in the top 5 so far, qualifying in the top 5 so far. So so those young players have come in and stepped in already and are doing a lot of good things for us. Not to mention, Hayes Mason last year, who was a freshman last year, sophomore this year. He come in 2nd or 3rd last year? I think
something
it was.
Like that.
And he won 4 tournaments individually last year. So he's obviously he's been a stalwart for the program. But again, week in and week out, it never surprises me if there's different people in different spots. It never surprises me. So I think one of the tournaments Hayes won, he was actually the 6th man. So that just tells you, kind of like I say, up and down the lineup, we're a pretty strong team. So very proud of that, very happy about that. But like I said, I know the coaches get a lot of accolades, but it really is all about the players and the time and the effort that they put in. These kids put in a lot of time, a lot of effort. Driving to practice, coming to workouts. We got workouts a little later today, putting in a lot of time in the weight room and doing a lot of cardio and doing a lot of things, all the things that I think will get us to where we want to be ultimately. So very, very proud of all the guys up and down the lineup.
Yeah, and Cameron, what's that growth process been like for you? You came in as a freshman. You've talked about that. but now you're looked at as a leader on this team. People come to you. You got a ton of freshmen. You got to be a leader for those kids.
Yes. So one person I would shout out would be Elliott Smith. We came in the same year. He was a transfer junior, I guess.
Junior,
And I was a freshman. And at orientation, we never met, knew each other, but we sat right beside each other. So like, it felt like right off, it was just like meant to be. Like, and then the last 2 years, my sophomore, junior year, we roomed together every tournament. So just being around the older guys all the time, you see how they lead. You learn by example, lead by example. And for me, having 2 older brothers, I mean, just all falls in place for me. I always feel like I'm always, even when I was younger, freshman, sophomore, I feel like I had a voice in the team, and that helped me too. So like, just because I'm the senior, the oldest, freshmen, they can come talk to me. Sophomores, they can talk to me. So like, everybody's just a family. Just because you're a senior doesn't mean like you're necessarily the leader.
Yeah.
Which, in this case, I mean, like I am, but everybody still pitches in and has their own opinion.
Yeah, and Mason, I'm sure that kind of feels the same way for you. Your growth process now, you're looked at as a leader on this team. So what's that growth process for you been like?
Yeah, like I said, coming in as a sophomore, getting to know like Will, Logan, Elliott, especially Elliott. Like Cam said, he was the biggest leader when I came in, and hanging out with those guys, obviously for practice. Hang out with a couple of the guys outside of practice, getting to know them a little bit more better, seeing what they do on a day-to-day basis really helped me understand how to become a leader. And like Cam said, now being a leader, having those sophomores and freshmen come to you, it's nice, but like Cam said, everybody pitches in still and has their own opinion, which always is great to have.
Yeah, and Coach, we'll kind of wrap it up here. Get one more question in for everyone.
Before you go there, Dylan, I just want to say one thing. Bottom line, I tell them all the time, though, like we laugh and joke about this all the time, but I always tell them I'm still Michael Jackson and they're the Jackson. So they're leaders, but they still got to dance on my tune. So that's kind of how it is. But that's kind of a running joke on the team. But go ahead.
Coach, with as young as a team as you have, it would be easy for some people to look at that and be like, it's going to take them a year to get back to where they are. Not for you guys. You guys came right back out in the fall and you won 2 tournaments. What's it going to take to build off that, and kind of what are you looking for in this spring?
I think the guys just kind of hit the nail on the head when they said, we're family. That family atmosphere kind of helps us. Everybody helping one another continue to grow helps us. I know I hear a lot about, during the off season or on their own time where they're out practicing and they're working and they're helping each other and continue to get better. So I think, just the leadership that these 2 young men provide, helping the younger kids continue to grow and kind of understand the Midway way, so to speak, and how we do things is what's going to help us not really have, that big of a learning curve for the younger kids. So, I don't really, a lot of people say with a lot of new kids you rebuilding or whatever. I don't really like those terms, that terminology, because it kind of says that the younger kids aren't up to task or aren't where they need to be. I don't see that with our team here. I think our senior leaders are going to continue to push them, and I think they're going to continue to buy in. And I think that gap just it kind of closes itself as the year goes on. So we've been, like I said, very fortunate to get a couple of wins already this fall, and I'm just looking forward to more going forward.
Yep. Cameron, what are your thoughts and expectations coming into the spring season?
The expectations are clear. I mean, win conference and go nationals. Yes, it's nice making the cut of nationals, but we want to do better than just make the cut. We want to be that top 10, top 5, even win it. If we're all playing right, we're just as good as anybody in the nation. And we play in tournaments in the fall and in the spring that are against those top 5 teams in the nation. We compete right there with them. We'll have one bad round and just pull us. I was like in the fall, we won our first 2 tournaments, and then last 3 we could have been up there, and just that experience comes into play. But having those first 5 or 6 tournaments in the fall and then the first 3 or 4 in the spring, we'll be ready for come conference.
Yeah. Mason, what are your kind of expectations for this year?
Just like Cam said, I mean, coming in, especially a coach calls it championship season, spring season. So coming in, we know what we want. That's obviously to win a national championship. Conference was our goal. We've accomplished that, and like Cam said, making the cut or even winning it could be a big thing for this program. So that's our expectation.
All right. Good luck this season, gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Yeah.